So as you guys probably already saw, the Nintendo Switch Lite just got released today, and that is insane. I mean, I still am in disbelief. Like, I thought I was like way off. I thought it wasn't coming out yet, but I was completely wrong, and you guys hated on me. I already said this in the last video, but I just want to put in your guys' face once more. I made a video, it wasn't even 2-3 months ago, it was 5 months ago, about how potentially we could see a Nintendo Switch, Lite or Mini or whatever. I even said in the title that it was a Nintendo Switch Lite, and just a week ago I talked about the Nintendo Switch Mini, which is the same device. And I said, it's going to come. And a lot of you guys hated on me for saying that, but now we finally got it. And so I kind of want to do a quick little comparison, see what the differences are between the Nintendo Switch Lite and the original Nintendo Switch. Now, if it was between both of these devices, I would 100% obviously recommend getting a Nintendo Switch, the original one. That one you can do way more. You have Joy-Con capability, you can get new things, and it's just overall a better device. But there are some key swaying points to pick up a Nintendo Switch Lite if you don't have either of these devices. So that is primarily what this video is for. Obviously the Nintendo Switch Mini is coming out a couple months from now. So again, this is before we even touched it, but I can already tell you, like, I've owned every single portable Nintendo console. I know how this one is going to be. So the main difference between them is probably just the way they look. As you can see, the Nintendo Switch has, removable Joy-Cons. You can do a lot more with it. Multiplayer mode is a little bit easier with it because you can take out the Joy-Cons, get 2-player mode on and all that stuff. But with the Nintendo Switch Lite, you can only play it on handheld mode as far as I can tell. There's no way you can go into TV mode, or if you can even connect another Joy-Con to it. That is something I will test once I pick it up in September. But that is definitely a weird thing. I mean, I'm kind of confused a little bit. And the one thing that is kind of scaring me about the Nintendo Switch Lite, if the controls are pretty much built the same as the original Nintendo Switch, which I heard the D-pad is updated. I've not heard anything about the joysticks. Like, I've had so many problems with joysticks. I've heard a lot of people complaining about them. They're super fragile, and if they're the same ones as the original Nintendo Switch, I can see a lot of people complaining about it and eventually people breaking them. So in terms of build quality, you might be better off picking up a Nintendo Switch if it means that your Switch Lite won't break all the time or whatever the case is. Now, they both have support for Wi-Fi. They're both Bluetooth enabled. They both have headphone jacks, so they're not pulling an Apple or anything. They still have the capabilities for that. Now, interestingly enough, there's no adaptive brightness. Again, I'm reading this. I don't know if I said this earlier from a post on Reddit. Give them credit. I'll leave a link in the description, but in case I forget, obviously you can go on their subreddits, one of the upvoted ones. There's no adaptive brightness on the Switch Mini, which probably isn't a big deal. I usually end up turning that off. That is the thing they took out. Also, there's no dock ability for the Nintendo Switch Mini, so there's no output to a TV, so that is a big thing. I mean, for me, I usually play them on portable mode, but that can be a humongous disadvantage for people who want to have like a TV console they can play on their couch, multiplayer on a huge TV. That is something that you won't have natively on the Switch Mini, but I can't see in the future people like porting that over somehow, maybe through, because it's going to be a USB Type-C port, I imagine. So that is definitely something I want to check out in the future. I'm pretty sure people are going to be able to find a way to do it. Now, overall, the Switch Mini not only has a smaller screen size, but a smaller body as well. So the Switch Mini almost kind of reminds me of a Wii U, but just probably built better and with USB Type-C. On the front of the Nintendo Switch, the original one, you have a 6.2-inch 720p touchscreen. In the Nintendo Switch Lite, I feel like I've called it Nintendo Switch Mini this whole entire video, it's the Nintendo Switch Lite. That has a 5.5-inch touchscreen. That one's 720p as well. And the funny thing is that screen-wise, you will technically have a bigger screen size on a phone like an iPhone 10 or a Samsung Galaxy S10 or something like that. I mean, that's kind of funny. Obviously, the Switch Lite is probably measured differently, but that is a really weird thing. Like, you kind of forget about those things when you're looking at things like this. The Switch Lite is also lighter as well. Now, the two biggest advantages for the Nintendo Switch Lite, in my opinion, would not only be the price tag, which is at $199, in the US, it could be higher in different markets, but also the battery life. It should have a better battery life than the original Nintendo Switch. And I kind of accompany that to two different things. One, the Joy-Cons, it's not constantly charging those Joy-Cons or trying to connect to them all the time. With the Switch Lite, it's just automatically there. It's just regular control, so it's not really that big of a deal. And two, because of the smaller screen size, maybe it is less powerful than a Nintendo Switch original one. That's something I want to test. I'm sure they're exactly the same, but I want to see which one is faster at opening apps and opening up games and things like that. Kind of just like a speed test I do for my iPhones. I want to do that same exact thing for the Nintendo Switch as well. So ultimately, just a quick comparison, I can definitely tell you both these consoles are pretty important. If you have the money, I will definitely tell you the upper top Nintendo Switch is the better investment. With the Switch Lite, it's definitely a light phone. You can definitely tell you're missing out on some key features, and it's definitely not as cool or as powerful as a Nintendo Switch, the original one. You have way more features out of the original Nintendo Switch than the Switch Lite, but that's not to say that, the Nintendo Switch Lite is a bad console, like obviously not. I feel like to compare these two to like the Nintendo 2DS and 3DS line is a little bit crazy, because with the 2DS and 3DS, they weren't really missing out on that many features. Really, it was just the 3D toggle. Other than that, they were pretty much the exact same. I'm talking about the 2DS XL and the 3DS XL. There really wasn't too much different between them, to be honest. But these two are completely different. I mean, one is like a portable console, while the other one is like a console you can connect to, multiplayer, so much more functionality from a Nintendo Switch than a Nintendo Switch Lite. And usually I tell people save their money, but in this case I'll probably tell people just to pick up a regular Nintendo Switch. And there's only $100 difference between these, which isn't a crazy amount. I mean, I understand it's still a lot of money, but you're just going to be getting more than $100 worth out of a Nintendo Switch than a Nintendo Switch Lite, in my opinion. And that is pretty much it, man. That's all I want to hit on. If you want to pick up a Nintendo Switch, I'll leave links in the description. If there's a Switch Lite link or on Amazon or something, I'll leave it down there too. But that is pretty much it. If you guys have any questions or anything, leave it down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count, so it'll mean so much if you guys could hit that. Also, check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my second channel. All those links are linked down below. I would really appreciate it if you guys could check it out. But more importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.